So we're heading out the front exit of the skating rink, and as we heading out the front, I actually step out onto the sidewalk, and I can see my mom across the parking lot. But I tell you what's crazy. Time changes when you're in situations, which means that your perception of time is completely different. Because as I see my mom across the parking lot, I'm like, all right, we good to go. We clear. Let's go break to the car real quick. All of a sudden, white minivan pulls up right in front of us, right in front of the roller skating rink, right in front of the curb. It was like no more than, I would say, I'm probably about a good, at that point, about 8-9 feet from where they pulled up at. So I said, damn. I was like, man, got caught slipping. I was like, hey, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of LB Tales from the Hood. And today's episode is called, Is This the End? So this story takes place, I think I was around, I would say, maybe 16 or almost 16 years old. So it goes down like this. It was myself and about 3 other guys from the apartment complex we lived in Virginia. And we wanted to go roller skating one weekend. So I had my mom take the 4 of us, and drop us off at the roller skating rink. And she basically told us what time she was going to pick us up. So cool. So while we there, the other guys are skating. I'm chilling back in the area by where the food place is. The little, whatever you call, I was going to say cafeteria. It's not really a cafeteria, but you get it. The place where they have the food and all that. They got the benches. Sitting there chilling. So I noticed that this female from across the other side, because the place was kind of big, so it was, I don't know, it was about a good maybe 50 to 60 feet away, but whatever. The point is, it's across the other side. She keeps looking at me. She's glancing at me, whatever. I ain't thinking much of it. I'm there to skate. I mean, it's cool. Female looking at me, whatever. I look over, I see her, whatever. I don't really do that eye contact thing like that, because I also peep that she's with a dude, but she's looking over, so I'm not really paying attention. So I'm just looking off to the side, and every once in a while, you can feel when somebody's looking at you. So I feel that somebody's looking, I'm looking, she looking. So all right, whatever, man. Like I said, minding my business. I think I was waiting on my food, getting my food, chilling, eating. So the guy she was with, he sent one of his boys over. And the dude come over to the table to me. He's talking about, yo, my man over there is like, you got a problem. And I'm sitting there like, yo, come on, man. I'm like, come out here to have a good time, man. You know what I'm saying? Just get away from the hood for a minute. Get and do something different. Having fun trying to roller skate. But it, what's good? I'm like, do I have a problem? I'm like, first of all, where's this coming from? But I was like, we ain't even doing all that. I'm like, first of all, I ain't got a problem. I'm like, do your man got a problem? Why he sending you over here? I'm like, nah. I'm like, y'all bugging. So he's like, all right, whatever. I'm going to go tell him, ain't nothing. I'm like, yeah, it ain't nothing. I'm like, first of all, if he got a problem with something, he need to tell his girl then. If that's the case, she don't need to be looking over here, which really you can't control what somebody shouldn't do. I'm not saying to do that, but I'm like, how you going to approach me? First of all, your lady's looking at me. I never disrespected homie. It ain't like I looked over there and was flirting and, you know what I'm saying? And like, what is you doing? But whatever, man. So I just let that go, let it rock, get my food, chilling. So one of the guys I'm with from my building, or actually from, not necessarily from my building, but he was from one of the surrounding buildings, whatever, but the guy that came back and asked me, do I have a problem? He actually got into it with one of the guys I was with. So from what I was told, because like I said, I was off on the side, dude came back with the other 3 dudes and he's like, yo, they was like the guy over there, when we was skating, he was like, he came over and he knocked into the dude I was with and knocked him over. And he was like, dude turned around and looked at him like, yeah, I did it and so what? So, you know what I'm saying? They was looking for all that smoke. That's what them dudes wanted, basically. So the guys were, so the other guys was like, so what did you do? The dude was like, yo, when he knocked me down, he just got up and didn't do nothing. He kind of just looked and he said the guy said something and he just skated off and came back and got the other guys and came and told me. So the dudes I was with was like, yo, why you hit him or nothing? You ain't snuffed the dude or nothing. It was like the dude won. He was like, nah. He said, I ain't know what to do, but he's like, he shouldn't have did that. He should have knocked me down. Blase, and this and that and the third. So we was like, okay. We was like, you ain't do nothing in the moment. You know what I'm saying? He did it purposely and intentionally. You know what I mean? You could just whatever, man. I mean, we like, look, I was like this, man. I said it's gonna be one of two things. You felt violated, then you're gonna go over there. You want to shoot the fair one, cause come to find out, the guy that bumped into him, that was with that the guy that sent him over with the girl, it was actually about like a good 9 or 10 dudes. So he had other people with him. So what happened is, I guess the guy went back and told his people after he knocked them down, and then they seen him come back to me. So next thing you know, the 9 or 10 dudes started gathering together, and they was like, they looking over there, and they looking at me and the other 3 guys I'm with, trying to look all tough, like, you know what I'm saying, like, do something. I'm sitting there like, yo, here we go. Yet another problem. I'm like, I try my best to avoid problems when I come out and have some fun. Here goes some knucklehead stuff. So one of the guys I'm with, actually, his people was there. His cousin was there. And his cousin was there with about like probably another, I want to say, I don't know, maybe 7 guys, something like 7, 8. So it ended up being the 4 of us plus like another 8 or so. So it ended up being like 12 of us. So they came around and was like, nah, it was like, this ain't gonna fly. This is my cousin. It was like, we all got your back, whatever, whatever. So we was like, all right. We was like, so the numbers are more fair now. It's about like 10, whatever of them. About 12 of us, all right? If it go down, it go down. We got to shoot a fair one. We got to shoot a fair one. But what happened is, one of the guys that was with the cousin of the guy I was with, he kind of, you know, he had the line on these dudes. He was like, yo, he said, he dropped him the info. He said, man, he said, I'm gonna be honest with you. He said he kind of know the situation. I don't know how he knew the dudes exactly what they was into, but he was like, the dudes that we got into it with, he was like, they actually have a stolen white minivan out in the parking lot. And he was like, the dudes was basically riding around all day, hitting licks, getting into it, whatever. He was like, they also riding kind of heavy. He was like, these dudes is strapped with all type of Tech 9s, Mac Minis, whatever. So I was like, we was all like, damn, here we go again. Like, none of us was carrying, I mean, hell, for what anyway? I'm not a criminal. Why would I have a gun? But, nah, seriously, but, you know, none of us had weapons, man. And, you know, we like, okay, so now it's not fair. We had to shoot a fair one, whatever, man. We could catch that fade. But you talking about now dudes is strapped up, whatever. You know what I'm saying? They already, you know, was getting low and doing their dirt and doing their thing with the stove, van outside, hitting licks, whatever. I'm like, damn, man. I'm like, this turning into something else. So I said, all right. That's when they got to thinking. I had to start strategizing. I said, all right. I said, boom. I was like, my mom, she's always on time. So I was like, we know she's coming at X time. Let's just say it was 3 o'clock, whatever. I don't know what time it was. Let's just say 3. She's coming at 3. I said, what we'll do is, you never know what happens with traffic or whatever, so let's give it to about like probably 3:10, 3:15, and let's head outside and go straight to the parking lot and hit the car. Because I was like, I doubt these dudes is going to go get their joints out the van, come back and spray up the place and try to light us up inside. I said, more than likely they're going to try to get us outside. So I was like, as long as we do that, I was like, we good money. So I did that. I also tried to call, like, you know what I'm saying, some people I know for some backup, like to see if they can kind of, you know, if they had the V, they can come get me out of there real quick and I can maybe get back to the crib and tell them, you know, to come or whatever. But, you know what I'm saying, I didn't have that many people I can call. And the one homie I had didn't have a car, and his people at the time wasn't even around with the car, so he couldn't even come scoop me. So I was like, whatever. And that's back in the days of payphones too. It wasn't no cell phones. Just to let y'all know, this is back in like 90 something. I don't know, 1994, whatever the case is. But anyway, getting back to the story. So all right, we there. The guys or whatever, they do whatever. At this point, I'm not even trying to skate anymore. I'm just being on guard. I'm watching. I'm like, all right, so we see them dudes over here. Let's watch how they moving. Let's see what we doing. We just gonna just try to just, you know what I'm saying, get up out of here. So when the time comes and my mom was coming, like I said, we're gonna say for argument's sake 3 o'clock. So about 3:10 we was heading out. We parted ways with the other dudes. So it was just me and the other 3 guys that I came with. So we're heading out the front exit of the skating rink. And as we heading out the front, I actually step out onto the sidewalk and I could see my mom across the parking lot. But I tell you what's crazy. Time changes when you're in situations, which means that your perception of time is completely different. Because as I see my mom across the parking lot, I'm like, all right, we good to go. We clear. Let's go break to the car real quick. All of a sudden, white minivan pulls up right in front of us, right in front of the roller skating rink, right in front of the curb. It was like no more than, I would say, I'm probably about a good, at that point, about 8, 9 feet from where they pulled up at. So I said, damn. I was like, man, got caught slipping. I was like, that's why this episode is called Is This the End? I really thought it was the end. And let me tell you something. It's like Mike Tyson said, everybody got a plan and they got hit. You don't know how you're going to react until you're in certain situations. And it's like, if you listen to my previous videos and you heard my previous stories, you would hear about the time with the guns in the court. But that was different because it was like an open-ended threat to like whoever fouled the dude. So I'm not going to just give that away. You go check the previous video, Guns in the Court, if you want to see that story. But in this case, it was different because the threat was directed at, you know, myself and the group I was with. So I was like, damn. I was like, this is real. So it was like, I'm not going to lie. There's a level of nervousness. When you first going through something like this and these type of experiences, it's crazy. It messes you up. And it also causes PTSD afterwards. But anyway, heading back to the story now without going too much on a tangent. Car pulls up, or the minivan pulls up. Dudes hopped out. All of a sudden, you know, hoodies on. I don't know if they had hoodies when they're in there. I see hoodies go over. Dudes hop out. You know what I'm saying? Look like they may be gripped up or whatever. It ain't like they had it out, but it looked like they was about to maybe reach, you know, up on us or whatever, pull out, whatever. And it's crazy because time really, like I said, froze. Like, I was frozen. Now, there's two different ways they say you can react. Fight or flight. But actually, it's fight, flight, or freeze. Because in a situation, either you're going to stand your ground and fight, you're either going to take flight and run, or you're going to freeze up and not react. So in the moment it was happening, you know, I'm not going to try to play the tough girl, like, yeah, I did this on purpose, which it was running through my mind on how I reacted. Because what it was is I looked across the parking lot and see my mom, who was maybe about a good, I want to say, maybe about 80 feet across the parking lot, 80, 90 feet from us. Maybe 100 feet, whatever. But she's across the parking lot. So I started thinking to myself, what maneuvers can I make? Because it was at the point, like, I was like, I don't know if I could really break back into the door with the rest of the guys, because there's people, you know, it was tricky. Matter of fact, I don't remember if there was actually other people out with us, but it was me and the 3 other guys at least exiting at that time. But it's like, I was thinking, if I try to break towards my mother's car, and I was like, if they do start firing at us, then they're going to aim their bullets wherever we go. And I said the messed up thing is, if I run to the car, they might actually end up shooting my mom. So I was like, you know, damn, I was like, I can't have that because, you know what I'm saying, my mom had nothing to do with this. Even though, you know, it's not like a beef or nothing like I started. I'm like, damn, man, I would hate to see my mother, something happen to her and get hit. You know, I mean, it cost my own life, but, you know, I love my mom so much, and I'm like, nah, man, that's my whole world. I can't have nothing happen to her. But I think part of it, aside from just making that decision, like, I don't want to break that because of bullets, I think part of it, too, was also the freeze aspect. So maybe that just justified me freezing, but I froze. I ain't gonna lie. I was like, with that, oh, you know, deer stuck in headlights look. So it's like when they got out, it's like they got out running around the car, and these dudes was like, yo, yo, yo. And like I said, this was so many years ago. This was like 94. But what I kind of have a memory of them being like, yo, yo, like something like, where they at? Or somebody saying something like that. And it's like, it's crazy. It's like they look, and it's like they ran around, and they hopped back in the stolen minivan and said, yo, they said, F it, let's come around back, let's go. So they hopped in, pulled out and went around the back of the joint. And I'm standing there, I'm still like kind of in shock, like, because when they hopped out, I'm like, yo, it's a wrap. I was like on some menace to society, on some Kane, we dead. We dead, like, it's a wrap. And it's almost like they didn't see us. So after that, you know, we was kind of shook. We was like, at that point, took a few seconds to gather ourselves together. It was like, go, move quick, break to the car. So we went to my mom's car, got in, and we made it safely home. But it's like the whole time it was sitting in the back of my mind. I was like, that had to be God, because I was like, they stated their intentions, or the man was like, you know, they got these weapons, and he said that, you know, one of them that they didn't know was with us was actually hanging around the table. And they said they heard the guys actually plotting, talking about, yo, we gonna get them dudes over there. So that's actually part of the story I have forgot. I just remembered. But yeah, they was like, they knew they was coming for us. And it's like, how did they not see us? They was only like a few feet in front of us, jumped out, looked around. I was like, that's gotta be God, man. And see, that's another reason why I was raised in the church, but you know, we all go astray, but it made me even more of a believer in the power of God, because I was like, there's no way, man. There's no way I can still be alive. Look, I've been in a lot of situations. I've known a lot of people, from street dudes to corporate, and every which way in between. And you know, as nice as people swear to as they are on the streets, to my, yeah, you know what I'm saying, I got the streets mastered, I'm nice, you know what I'm saying, I know every dimension of the streets. Let me tell you something. In the streets, I used to think it was 1 part skill and 3 parts luck for you surviving the streets. What I really come to realize over time is it's not 1 part skill and 3 parts luck. It's 1 part skill and 3 parts God, which really the God part should be first, because, you know, when God's for you, who could be against you? And those of us who really believe, we know we've been through experiences, so we like, there's got to be a God. A lot of people like, oh, you believe in fantasies and fairy tales. Man, look here. I've been in some situations where I know if there wasn't a God, man, if there wasn't for the Most High, I wouldn't be here. Because on some real stuff, I almost died like 3 or 4 times. When I say almost died, I'm talking about one time I flatlined in the back of the ambulance. Another time my temperature was like 103, 104. I was almost dead. So I'm talking about on the brink of death. And in the back of the ambulance, I flatlined. I had to be, you know, revived back to life. Anyway, that's coming up in a future story. I don't want to give too much away. But the point is, almost died about at least 3 or 4 times. Now, almost getting killed, that's hood stuff. I'd say that's probably 15, 20 times at least. I can't even, to be honest with you, I can't even remember all the times. It might be a little bit more than that, but on the brink of death about 3 or 4 times. That's why I'm saying I know there's a God. I got sent to the pearly gates. He was like, it ain't your time, man. You got to send you back. So anyway, the moral of the story is I don't just tell the story to tell hood tales, to be like, yeah, you know what I'm saying, boys in the hood, minutes society and something. No, because I don't, anybody that know me know I don't promote negativity, man. I never, these aren't stories I just sit around and just tell people just for the hell of it. I don't really tell people a lot of stories. There are people that probably that I grew up with that don't even know these stories. But I tell them now because I feel like people can learn from it. And also stories I begin telling my children, because I tell them this, I'm like, don't glorify none of this stuff. And I'm like, this is, you know, it's a bunch of silly, I'm just going to be honest, silly Negro nonsense, a lot of stuff. And what goes down the hood, a lot of it is, you know, it's unnecessary, it's ridiculous, but I teach them this because I tell them, first of all, hey, stay away from knuckleheads, stay out of trouble, but also I try to give them that street smart edge without actually being in the streets. Because unfortunately, some of us had to learn from the school of hard knocks. So we actually had to go through it and be out there. I don't want my children going through what, you know, what I've been through. Like when I had my firstborn son, we had him when we was living in the projects out in Corona. And, you know, unfortunately, you know, it's the projects, things go down. You know, people get murked in the hallways. We had cops that had to put the cameras in and all that. You had a little girl, may she rest in peace, Genesis Regalado, I believe. I'm not saying her name wrong. I need to look at. I'm sorry if I mispronounced that queen's name wrong. They actually named the street after her, where we used to live at. They renamed it to her name because she got killed right outside my building, right at the corner store, on some knucklehead stuff. I'm not gonna get into that. You know what I'm saying? What happened, but it was some knucklehead stuff, regular hood dumb stuff. And she was an innocent bystander. And this is what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to prevent these babies from getting killed. You know, rest in peace to that little angel. May she rest in heaven, man. And we really need to stop the nonsense, because I'm like, yo, if I had one wish, I swear I would use my wish in this world, man, that people could treat each other with respect, and we would stop the nonsense and the violence, man. Because we really need to stop this unnecessary killings, violence towards one another, and really, another thing, there's no such thing as black on black crime. There's people on people crime. You happen to live, you in a neighborhood and there's mostly black people. Who else they going to beef with? Are they going to go outside the neighborhood and beef with somebody across town? You're going to have beef with people where you live. It's the same thing with every race. Other races beef. We're the only one to get the special black on black crime designation. I'm not going to get off too much in that, but the point is, people hurt people. People hurt people, no matter what color and race they are. It happens in every race, every culture. Oh, blacks are the most violent. Man, BS. No, we're not. Every race, every culture has its share issues, but seriously, the nonsense and the violence need to stop, man. And everything I survived and been through, I'm like, if I could serve as a testament so the next man, young man or woman coming up don't have to go through it, so be it. So it's like all the suffering and everything I went through is not in vain if I could help save at least one life, because that's what it's about. I don't do this for the views, I don't do this for the like. I can care less about fame, F the fame, to be honest with you, but if I could save at least one life, I'm doing something. I know that's cliche, you heard it before, but it's true, man. Because I do this for the babies. I do this for whoever's out there who can learn from it. You know, and it's, come on, we got to do better, man. We got to do better as a people, as a human race. But anyway, that ends this story. That concludes, is it's the end. Thank goodness for me, it wasn't the end. God still had plans for me. I still had work to do. He had to serve the Most High. I'm going to do the best I can, whatever much time I have left. Every day I'm going to make it the best. Hopefully you guys are too. So, I will see you back on the next episode, coming to you soon. Hopefully you enjoyed it. And you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to sign off with my signature. Just chill till the next episode. Till then, baby. LB out. Peace.